Hi, I'm Travis Devendorf, and today we're going to be taking a look at the KOE system and its importance. The Everglades is a place most Floridians know about, and it may just seem like a place filled with wild, scary animals, but it's actually quite important. The River of Grass, as it is sometimes called, is 18,000 square miles filled with rare and endangered species. It is a sanctuary for the remaining populations of endangered creatures like the Florida panther. The Everglades also supplies many Floridians with drinking water. The Kissimmee-Okeechobee Everglades Watershed, or KOE for short, is the watershed that supplies the Everglades. The KOE used to start in the chain of lakes, then flow down the meandering Kissimmee River into Lake Okeechobee. The water would pour into the lake until it overflowed the southern bank, creating sheet flow. The sheet flow filled the wetlands until it overflowed into Florida Bay. This was a healthy ecosystem. Currently, the water starts in the chain of lakes like before, but flows down part canal and part river into Lake Okeechobee. Once the water is in the lake, it is controlled from overflowing the southern bank. To control the water, the Army Corps of Engineers allows water to flow out two heavily channelized rivers, the Caloosahatchee and the St. Lucie. This water flows directly into estuaries, ruining the brackish balance they have. Humans have negatively impacted the KOE. Developers have built houses in many parts of the original Everglades, destroying them forever. To make sure these houses were safe, a dike was built around Lake Okeechobee, stopping all sheet flow to the wetlands. Then roads were built, severing northern and southern Everglades. With all this combined, we have effectively broken this once vast and wild ecosystem. There was around a 90% reduction in the wading bird population. Some, however, realized the damage we were doing and decided to convince the public it needed to be fixed. Restoration of this great natural wonder wouldn't be possible without humans, so humans have helped the KOE. Of course, this was after they had already destroyed it, but better late than never.
Out.
Much of the KOE system has a major problem involving nutrients. The worst, phosphorus. This nutrient comes from stormwater runoff. Farmers use it in their fertilizers, and it is also found in waste. Water that runs over the pavement and through farmlands and golf courses and yards collects this nutrient that, while necessary for plant life, is bad for the low-nutrient KOE system. The phosphorus that runs into the Everglades puts it above the healthy 10 parts per billion. This low level of nutrients is what makes the Everglades unique, with lots of grasses and open water. Excess nutrients can also cause algal blooms. Up further north of the glades in Lake Okeechobee, nutrient pollution causes these blooms, which turn cause fish and plant kills. Blooms can also make water toxic and a health threat to humans. To fix this pollution, which is indicated by species like the cattails behind me, will require lots of effort from many different groups of people who are willing to spend time and money saving the environment. I believe it needs to be addressed as soon as possible to prevent further damage to the delicate ecosystem. Many private groups and agencies that take donations for the Everglades should be asked to donate their money to phosphorus reduction efforts. I also believe that the state and/or federal government should be involved. The Army Corps of Engineers should also take part in this effort, considering they actually do a lot of the polluting when they release water. I personally think we should start by letting the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan, or CERP, finish restoring sheet flow and restoring the Caloosahatchee and St. Lucie rivers. This plan will help because the restored river will not allow nutrient-rich water from Lake Okeechobee into the delicate estuaries downstream. Then farmers near the system should have their phosphorus levels monitored and restricted. Finally, multiple parts of the Everglades should be monitored for phosphorus, and if they are over, the source of pollution should be tracked down. I would target the pollution from agriculture first because I believe it is the most damaging. Though Everglades restoration could cost billions more than it already has, it is well worth it. The Everglades make Florida a more unique place and attract hundreds of tourists a day. The revenue from tourists is obviously one of Florida's main sources of income, and the Everglades are a major attraction here. Not to mention how historically important the Everglades are. All the wildlife would benefit from a more natural habitat, and humans would have a better water supply. In the next 100 years, predicted population growth is exponentially high. This means more and more water for people and less for the Everglades. All the new people moving to Florida need somewhere to live, and most of the undeveloped land here is in the Everglades. Rising sea levels will be pushing people back further from the coast, looking inland for new homes. So we will continue to have people taking land and water from this environment. I also believe less and less children value the environment, meaning our future leaders could care less about paving over the Everglades. In short, I find the biggest problems facing the Everglades in the next 100 years will be reduction of water and land and a lack of interest to prevent that. Having spoken to many experts in these fields has allowed me to reach these conclusions. I've been shown firsthand, such as in a boat on the C-38 canal, how bad changing the environment can affect wildlife. All these experiences that I had in person and on site have given me absolutely pure, unfiltered truth that can't be argued against. Some parts of my experiences were backed up not only by experts in person, but scientific councils and reviewers in some of the scientific papers we read, such as the South Florida Water Management District's report, which backed up my own findings from conducting water tests myself. So to wrap things up, let's talk about H2O To Go Connections program. During my 5-day-long stay, I not only met lots of people I will soon be sharing classrooms with, but also stood on the front lines of the battle over conservation. The balance of class time and field work was on point. The amount of time for friends and time for study was also very well balanced. I felt like going to this program let us see a world that normally only scientists and other experts would see. This program went above and beyond all my expectations in all areas, and it was a truly wholesome experience that I would recommend all to attend.